It is time now to jump back into the action here at the PGL Minor. The road leading up, of course, to the E-League Major coming up in just a few months. Godsent are currently up here in the lower bracket against Alternate Attax, our first best of 3 of the day. They've just taken Alternate Attax's map pick over on Cobblestone, and now we go, of course, to their own map pick here on Train.
Definitely going to be very interesting to see. This is a map where Godsent really shines when they usually play. They have the AWP powers of JW. They have the off AWP of a guy like Floshy, a guy like Snyder can also op as well. So they have so much sniper power on this map that on the CT side, of course, it's the side where you get most rounds. The ops are so important. And JW with the aggressive AWP on the T side especially could also make a big difference.
And overall here, Alternate Attax over the past couple of months is looking at actually rather limited experience on this map. So it is a bit curious as to why it's gone through specifically with a 2-2 record on it. But as we can see now, everybody's in the server. We're just waiting on the teams themselves to ready up, and then we can get started with it. Signs have already been decided. They're currently correct, so that means Alternate Attax are going to be starting off on the CT side with Godsent moving over to the T side, of course. If Alternate Attax can upset here, it will go to our third and final map over on Cash. But if Godsent manage to take this one, it is all over for the Alternate Attax guys, and they are going to be packing up and heading home here on day one.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be an interesting one, of course. We want to get this done on the road so we can keep the schedule here. So no analyst desk for this one, but we can do our own little analyst desk. So what do you think?
Well, like predictions or
for this train map? Yeah.
I mean, like originally I was actually saying that Alternate Attax were going to take this set 2-1, but that relied on them claiming the first map. So now the problem is now that Godsent are kind of stolen that one away, I think this is where Godsent are going to clean up here. I think this is going to be the 2-0 for them.
Yeah, I agree totally. Especially after seeing Godsent finally waking up on that Cobblestone map, I actually once again have belief in they can bring this one home. And what other map than Train? A map where some of these guys started out in their careers way back in 2012, 2013, when they really were in the beginning of their careers, and now they're back on it again to not go out on this minor in the last game, in the elimination game. Hopefully they can survive.
We will take a look at this now, since they're going to be starting off on the T side, but not hesitating at all when it comes to actually executing here. Very fast setup for default outer sight take here, but also a lot of resistance from the Alternate Attax side, so when they actually move in here, they have to take it a little bit slowly. Schneider starting things off, pushing the short lane. He finds Keeve, knocks him out of the picture, and also spots that player further back here too. Lekro finding a kill, but there are trades moving in from Alternate Attax. Kazuya, Searson, and Crisby all picking up some frags. Searson with one more, and all of a sudden it's just down to Pronax in the 1v2. He's going to have to 3k this. He's got control of the site. He can get the bomb down and start the timer, but even that's a bit weary currently, since he's actually surrounded by the 2 remaining members from Alternate Attax, both in Z and over there in the tunnel.
Yeah, so the way that Godsent usually plays these pistols on T-side Train is that Pronax plays the lurker role as a bomb carrier as well. The problem with this, when it is not working out, is that he gets caught in a 1v2 like here, or 1v3 or 1v4 if everything else fails miserably, and he's in a very, very tough position with these 2 CTs. If they play together, we saw them make that mistake on Cobblestone. If they don't create 2 1v1s and retake together at the same time and go for revenge frags, they're going to take this one easily. But Pronax is a top-level player, so there's still that chance.
They both have grouped up here on the CT side to move in together, but of course they're going to move on it all the time. He just works out so badly for Pronax, and he instantly gets winged down there by Searson. So the closeout comes in from Alternate Attax. Searson himself has quite a good round with 3k pickup there, and Alternate Attax will get their pistol round start here on Train.
Yeah, good stuff from them. They need this, to be honest, to get rolling. They need the momentum, and what better way to start with the pistol on CT, because CT is usually the side where you get the most amount of rounds. So if they can get rolling here on the CT side and kind of strike some fears into the hearts of Godsent, hopefully that can work out for them. Godsent, on the other hand, with that bomb going down, of course, saving in this one and buying up in the next.
Well, here we go now with Godsent again, as you mentioned previously, the save for them, so not expecting anything too fantastic. Just a couple deagles across the board for these guys here, and a P250s for the rest. We are going to see a lot of them actually splitting up initially here, but Alternate Attax again with a heavy assist on the outside site. The right idea about it, considering that Godsent more than likely they're going to send this bomb over here into the outer bomb site, but that could change if the Ivy play doesn't go so well. The nades in there, Alternate Attax, they're expecting it, so again, as mentioned previously, they have the heavy stack out here to weigh this in properly, just the kind of stack you come to expect from most CT side setups.
So let's see here, the bomb is still dropped way back, so right now Godsent are just trying to see if they can get some kind of opening. If they get that, someone can pick up the bomb, they can move on that. If not, then they're going to rotate back, pick up the bomb in T-spawn, and then go somewhere together as a unit. But of course, first they want to see if the CTs are able or willing to commit any mistakes here. If that doesn't happen, then they're going to group up. Tizian going down a bit. Lycra trying to capitalize on him peeking a bit, but Lycra in the end will go down.
Flush is sitting there too, but actually drawing a lot of attention to the inside side too, so it's pulling these guys away. There's nobody really committed to it yet, and Pronax, the patience plays out, and he's going to find Crisby sitting out in the open, just enough of an angle for him to capitalize with a headshot on the Deagle there, so that'll take him down. Now they've got a way into the site, but there's still no execute. 35 seconds on the clock. And alternate attacks are starting to shift back into just a regular 2-2 split now instead of all 3 in that B-bomb site. They've also got to go in to retrieve the bomb, and Flush is going to meet an unfortunate obstacle there. He's pushed down, he was ready to commit to it, but then he's pushed back by the Molotov, and without anybody else in the site, he's not really going to be too keen on actually going all the way out there. So waits again for other players to get in better spots over there in the short lane and have the bomb actually prep. But there you go. There's the sneak from the short lane. Schneider finds that kill. A quick trade comes in from Searson. Tizian with one more pickup. Pronax impacting there with another Deagle kill. But again, Tizian putting him back down in this place. 3 seconds in the round. JW knows there's guns sitting in the back here, so he is going to fall back to scavenge that rifle and save it for this next investment.
So in that round, it looked like Godsent actually had a big chance of winning it, but what happened when they were trying to go outside was that Keith flanked from the inside, so he could constantly tell his teammates, okay, it's not going to be inside, it's not going to be inside, and they could rotate all their weaponry outside. So when it was a 3v3 or something like that outside, they could just easily win those duels because, well, they have the upgraded weaponry, they're going to have the bigger chances, and they're going to be better than the Eagles. But the Eagles are beautiful. This one is a beauty from Pronax, to be honest. But nonetheless, it's going to be alternate attacks winning yet another round, 2-0, and this is going to be the bye. And usually what we see is JW lurking here on back alley, or Ivy if you will, and the rest of the team just spreading out and trying to find individual 1v1s, trying to punish CT players as they go aggressive. And as I say that, they do exactly that. Snyder just spraying down 2 people, deciding to rush his position, and I'm not sure why they're rushing, because they have the weaponry. They could just wait and hold the angles, but yeah, that's not the way they want to play it, apparently.
Still working out for Godsent, though, as despite the trades back over there by T-Con. Now Tizian's going to try to forge his way back into the site, but he's been spotted already by Pronax. A nice lineup from him. And I think they even suspected Searson to push his way back over there from the Ivy tunnel, too. So there's where Godsent are ultimately going to punish that very, very nicely. Holding back for those couple of extra seconds pays off big time, since alternate attacks bite into that with a huge amount of aggression that ultimately, as you mentioned, was kind of unnecessary. And with that now, it goes up 2-1. Still in the favor of alternate attacks, but that's going to fade away very quickly, as alternate attacks have no choice really but to eco here.
Yeah. So what we see now is, of course, Godsent reacting to the fact that alternate attacks will be on the Nico, Pronax buying the MAC-10, and we're going to see the UMP-45 on Snyder as well. I think this could pretty much be just them having a specific strat when they know they're up against Nico. They have this set up. Right now it looks pretty much like the usual thing where you have the 4 players seeking 1v1s and JW lurking alley. But Pronax has made his way out to the outer bomb site to make sure that he can just hunt anyone down that wants to challenge. And actually double frag coming in from alternate. This is looking quite good comparing to the fact that this is an eco. 2 frags is good. 3 frags is great.
Tizian dipping in there for one more taste of things as he picks up that additional kill. He's even going to try to wrap back around, it seems. There's nothing for him to save. He might as well try to go and line up for an exit at the very least. He's only working with a USP. Trying to play this patiently enough to see if he can grab one of these guys leaping out. And there you go. There's another one. There's a gun on the ground for him to use here too, but he can't go barreling out through Z. That'll be seen very quickly by Flushit. Regardless, though, Flushit's actually going to fall back, and Tizian will try to slowly sneak his way around out of this corner here. He's got a Molotov ready, though, so Flush is playing this smartly at the moment. And the Molotov rolls back in there. A spotted.
Smoke.
He's got the smoke to counter it back out here, but it looks like it's actually going to be going a little bit too far out for him to successfully get behind it in time. Not only this, but he has no kit. There's not enough time on that clock, and he still has that gun to try and scavenge through with here. So he is going to decide to fall back and just let Godsent tie it up, and obviously let Flusha survive too.
So 2-2 is the score. We do have, of course, the buy round coming in from alternate attacks. They bring that MAC-10 into the round. Technically not that useful, but still, then again, they have a couple of players on 3600, and they can just buy armor and get that MAC-10 instead. So something's going to happen. Yeah, we see Kazuya with $800 to spare because he got that MAC-10 drop, and he got full utility as well. So hopefully this one is going to work out for them. Godsent, on the other hand, do have a full buy-up. JW on the AWP, so all is dandy for them.
Well, here goes Godsent once again now. Actually, much more different though, as they've been keen on kind of lining up these defaults for the most part, but now all of a sudden everything is sent over there into the back white halls. Kiev, however, is able to catch the one player that's stuck around in Tikon. Got Schneider knocked out, but at the same time, the heavy presence is going to ring through here in the back B halls. Flusha gets the trade on Tizzy and it immediately goes back down into a 4v4. And Crispy's alone currently. He's going to be able to get some support pretty quickly from Kiev, who rolls in over there outside of Z, but still on the front lines here. Crisby is going to be playing a very risky position should Godsent decide to go through with this push. And at the moment they are, but it's only for a moment there. So JW can try to hit that shot, which actually just barely misses against Crisby.
So Pronax here trying to edge his way in, and he will take out his opponent. Kasuya goes down, and now, well, the CTs have to think about, okay, they're probably not going to hit in and now as Pronax gets that frag, so they have to rotate someone around. So what they're playing now is one backline, one CT backline, and one B side, which is very vulnerable if Godsent decides to push in from the same angle all at the same time, and that's what we see. They push out of Pop Dog, and they're just going to take that bomb site. Surson is going to have a chance here, which is great. He gets that first opening, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to get more.
Keep looking for the kills, and there you go. He's got a little bit more to work with here now. So does Alternate Attacks. But 3v2, the bomb is still not on the ground yet either, so Godsent have to get themselves back up to that bomb train and actually get it onto the ground. Flusha playing it aggressively. Works out for him, but for JW, it's a different story. Kiev has found another pickup with the op, and Flusha's going to wrap out here, but little does he know. So now Crisby's waiting around the corner. Only 15 seconds on the clock, too. He'll dive away. He's going to try to make a maneuver here, working his way into the B-bomb side. This has been spotted by Kiev, though, and he can line up this shot. He's going to dive back in. We'll see if the shot connects from Flusha. It's not. Kiev will spot him from that little corner there. Flusha doesn't even know where it hits him from. And Alternate Attacks just barely keep their lead alive there by picking up that third round.
Yeah, the reason why we talk about AWP players and sniper players in general here on Train being so important was just highlighted in that round as Kiev gets 4 frags and just demolishes Godsent all on his own. So that is just a great example of how Train works for AWP players. He's just able to take those long angles, and well, if you're going to be at a long angle with an AK against an AWP, you're going to lose 9 out of 10 times, or maybe if you're Scream, maybe you're going to win a bit more, but apart from that, it's incredibly hard to battle against these AWPs.
It's shot.
That's how it is.
Well, Godsent again sending their players, just a few of them this time, of course, through the White Halls. Kind of moving away from the Ivy pressure that we were seeing in some of the earlier rounds now, and we can see the aggression and once again kind of blooming from the Alternate Attacks roster. But this is still going to be a very direct hit, or at least a lot of nades being deployed here into a fake over here on the A side. I don't think it's going to be a fake though, but the problem... Flusha! Spots him from below and then just sprays him, but Kiev with the dive back in from the Ivy tunnel. He's also going to be able to find Pronax. They're very, very cautious of the pressure towards Ivy, and there will be a player moving in, but it's going to be delayed. And in the meantime, they've been distracted. Another bomb's going to go down onto the ground. They're still knocking these guys out one by one. They've stopped the bomb from being planted. Flusha trying to be sneakier, picks up one, looking for the second. He's not going to get that. Tizian takes him down, and it falls to Schneider sitting up on top of the green train. Dropping down, though, he grabs the kill. There's still 50 seconds on the clock for him to work with, but that nade does massive damage. He now sits at 9 HP, Tizian at 12. So that direct confrontation is not necessarily going to favor either one, but Schneider not moving at all currently, sitting here waiting to see if he can catch someone going into the open that he can punish and then bring this into a 1v1. That's not happening, though. Wasted about 10 seconds doing that as he tries to look for something. Alternate Attacks, the one thing you can say about them is they are very, very controlled in the way they play their CT sides when they have the advantage. They don't over-aggress, they don't get greedy. And now again, as they move forward here, Schneider, he's going to be able to spot that first player. He needs a second one too, and he's trying to spray him down through the angle, but it's not going to work out. He has to fall back around the corner, get this bomb onto the ground while he still has time, but as he does that, Kiev now knows he can go out into the open and finalize the round for his squad. Picks up the 4th, and again, Godsent, their money will be drained here as they go onto an eco.
Yeah, once again, a triple for Kiev. He continually just racks up these rounds where he just gets frags left, right, and center, and that's what they need. They need their star players to step up because they are behind on maps. They are on the on their opponent's map choice, and they have forced Godsent into an eco, or at least a Tech 9 eco, Tech 9 Force even, some might say. But it's going to be interesting to see what they could do. They need some speed, and they need some headshots.
Alternate Attacks themselves, again, still kind of treading on thin ice here with their own economy. Godsent have certainly shown that they can bring the heat even on these these forced investment rounds. They really don't bring much, and as they creep in, no! Kazuya Has Pronax walking just right past him, but he still doesn't manage to catch onto it, so he's going to find that second kill. Throws his gun onto the ground there, and as he's forced to switch over to the pistol, of course. But Schneider catching the trade, has the Tech 9, which is going to work a lot better in that situation. However, Cavalry's arrived now. Kiev there with the op, finds Schneider. They just spotted the cross from Flush attacking him a little bit along the way, so they know he's stuck behind E-Box currently. The only mystery left is JW, who's kind of sneaking in over there, but even he's been detected there. Kiev finding that kill. It's all about just knocking out Flusha.
So Flusha now 1v4 passes through the smoke, just crosses an enemy, not ending that one on Surson. So will be pretty much just a round over for Alternate Attacks. 5-2. We talked about them needing a good start here on the CT side. They have gotten that so far. 2 rounds though. It's not too bad for Godsent. The way that they've lost a couple of rounds that they did lose is a good sign for them. They can bring it back easily if they just win the clutch like rounds and win those 1v1 battles that decided in the end. Right now they're going to be on a full eco, and they're going to be saving for this next one. Going to be buying up in round number 9 instead of number 8 as we hit it right now.
Yeah, and it's a very grouped up style of play from Godsent now. They send all their players here through the White Halls and the locker rooms, back over here to the site. Back of site, I should say. The box hall is leading over here towards B. Tizine will be waiting for that with a shotgun, but I don't imagine he'll take the direct confrontation itself. Tries to hit some shots, but yeah, that range, that Nova is going to be very, very inaccurate, we'll say.
That is probably the nicest way of saying that. So, yeah, he's going to wait down here. What he does here is he waits for the terrorists to drop down because they usually just want to drop down into the ladder and straight down to the bomb site. Flash comes in and he's holding this angle perfectly. The terrorists are just dropping to their death. JW getting one. JW will get the bomb down. So mission accomplished here for them. They get the money and they get J-Dubs in a 1v3, but he's not going to make that with reloading EMP-45. But yeah, one player just technically dropping to his death.
Yeah. Somewhat of a forced drop, as we saw there.
Suicide.
Helping him out along the way there with a nice little love tap of the shotgun. So, but they still do some decent damage there, and they find the plan on what was otherwise just a very weak buy from Godsent. So, as you mentioned there, mission accomplished. They do what they want to do, and you scrub that one off as a bit of an unavoidable loss. And then we get right into the action again on this round. 6-2. This is one of those kind of danger points, though, that if we can see alternate attacks consistently pick up the rounds, all right, maybe there is the opportunity for them to actually steal this map away and send us over to cash, especially if it doesn't change very shortly.
Yeah, let's see here. They do have the full setup on Godsent, of course, because they got that bomb plant. They can buy full utility for every single player and still have money to spare. But look at that, Kiev going aggressive with the orb. And, well, there's one player out there. We hear the AWP rattling, and we don't see anything in the kill feed, so he must have missed that shot onto JW. The rest of the T team are heading inside right now, so it's going to be a B bomb side hit. Only one CT player there right now, so this is going to be terrible. But look at that, Lecro is selling the outside push so well, at least keeping them from rotating towards the inside bomb side, and that is perfect from Lecro. Double frag from him. 4v2 right now coming in for Godsent here, planting on this B bomb side, and Alternate Attacks might be forced to save, and they are.
They're already falling back, yeah. Huge selling point, as you mentioned there, was Lecro to make sure that those rotators just get absolutely knocked out. They had no one defending that ladder room position, so he's allowed us to roll right out there, hold that spot, and then, I mean, it pretty much plays into the plan at that point. He's sitting there, he's waiting for guys to cross in a Z, and they all go directly into that one. So good stuff. He ends up going down, obviously, but his job is done. He's forced the last 2 to save, and he's guaranteed the round for Godsent. And now this is the round they needed to pick up, and they've done so with flying colors. Kiev is the last man alive. He's going to pretty much detach himself from the action as far away as he can. He still might have to actually frag out against 1 or 2 players here. He's very quickly being surrounded, and that miss actually could cost him in a big way. They're going to push out against him in the corner. He's basically got to wait for the time on this one. He's slowly tapping away, and he just barely makes it out, thankfully, because Godsent can't get a peek on him quickly enough.
That was close. Luckily for Alternate Attacks, they have some kind of bank, so it can drop and everyone can get a full buy and full set of nades here. But then again, Godsent on 3 rounds, and they are generating money as well. As we often talk about on the T side, it's a bit easier to generate a good economy than it is on the CT side because weapons are a tad more expensive. So Godsent, 4.5k to spare for 3 to 4 players. It's great for them so far in the game. And they're only behind with 3 rounds being on the T side. That is not bad.
Not at all. For Godsent here, however, again, the big group up is happening over here through the White Halls and then leading itself in over towards the over towards the back B halls there too. But this is more than likely going to end up diverting itself into just a default A hit, especially with Schneider finding that entry. Moves in over to the short lane. That is going to be Kiev that gets knocked out, and all of a sudden they have a way into the A bomb site, and it's a good one too. Kazuya gets double mollied, I think, from that spot there. Certainly going to be forced out, but that doesn't mean he can't frag. Finds one pickup. He'll be down to 2 HP, but he also did great damage to another member of Godsent, Lecro. He's there to trade though, along with JW knocking taking out Searson here. They get bomb site control. Crisby ducking beneath, surprises against Lekro, takes him down. A 2v3, but a very low JW. Crisby, they're trying to creep back. That's where he's going to be found by JW. Another frag in the favor of Godsent. And for Tizian here, stuck in Z, they just divert away from the A set completely, and they're going to take it to the inner site instead.
Tizian now 1v3. JW on 22 HP, so if he plays that Molotov down and JW for some reason feels compelled to walk into it, he's going to get a frag, but I think that is wishful thinking, to say the least. As Tizian surely will go down here, tries to battle, 18 HP, and when he turns around, he's going to be JW, so no chance of him surviving that one. Godsent putting out yet another round, and this is looking quite good compared to they are on the T side here on DE Train. They're generating economy, as I said before. Now Pronax is going to be generating even more money because he's going to be on a Mach 10.
I've seen them again, as you can see from some of the matchups. Some of the big guys from Godsent, it's different people. I think overall they're kind of stepping up to the table this time, as JW, one of the bigger guys, is kind of still floating behind a little bit there, only at 7-7. Whereas you look at the next men over here for him, comparing him on alternate attacks, is going to be at 11-4 right now, that being Kiev. Yeah,
Kiev is definitely the reason that alternate attacks has 6 rounds. He has almost single-handedly won 2 of them. So he is the reason they're in this lead right now. If it wasn't for him and they had, let's say, just any other AWP available to them right now, it would not look this way.
Godsent again pushing in there. There's just no defense on the backside, unfortunately, so they're allowed in so easily. Wrapping in, especially on these Zeke rounds, too. There's already 1, 2, 3 kills. Kazuya going to try to be sneaky up there in heaven, but it doesn't really work at all. Flusha finds him very quickly, and Searson trying to survive. He almost gets that kill on Lekro, but nope. Denied. And Godsent will close out without losing a single man.
Yeah, so close to tying us up here, Godsent. On the T side, on DE training, it's of course what you don't normally expect from a T side. You normally expect something like an 11-4, 10-5 half for the CT guys. Godsent here just making sure that that doesn't happen. Currently on 5-6, and well, they have a chance of making it 6-6 as well. But alternate attacks finally buying up. Kiev once again on the AWP is probably the most important thing.
And so, with them having that effect to it there, and being able to see Kiev bring the heat once again here now, we just have to hope they can position him properly. As again, the Godsent are going to change with the game plan here. Just 1 or 2 rounds ago, they were sending all of their focus over here towards like T-Con and setting their way down ladder. And this time they got 3 pushing Ivy. Now, whether they're going to follow through with that is yet to be seen. We can already see 2 falling back. They kind of just left the JW in this position for now. But it seems like it's going to go back to the default pattern in a second here. So they haven't been able to find a clear path through. They're smoked out, and they don't want to wait for their turn. But because they've had to hold back on their own aggression, you can see Kazuya. He's ready for a push to come back in on T-Con. Catches the first player jumping. There's no flashbang or anything. Considering they didn't have presence here before, that's now dangerous. Kazuya, he can toss down the smoke. The problem is he is spotted. Lekro, he's going to take him down. There's the trade, and now they've got their path out onto the site again.
Yeah, let's see here what's going to happen here. Lekro just constantly keeping his eye on positions where the CTs or where the Ts could pop up, and here we go, a tiny bit of a boost here coming from JW and Lekro. Not quite sure if it's for the angle. Okay, that makes sense. And gets a bunch of damage in. Crispy surviving still, but everyone is so low right now. He's going to go for the style point.
Oh, he dived in.
He's going to go for the knife, but it's not going to happen. Crispy gets away. And JW once again, okay, that style points as well. Just going, he gets it in the smoke. And Crispy finally goes down. Kiev will have to save this AW. Well, he can try and go for it, but it's not going to work out, I think, for him. Technically, Lekro and Flusha are low, so if he kills JW and Snyder, he can finish off the rest with pistols. But yeah, that's wishful thinking.
Well, that was a confusing round if you're a German.
Definitely. So now 6-6, alternate attacks surely are the ones taking this pause. I agree with that completely. They need to change up their game plan on the CT side because it worked in the beginning, but now Godsent figured out exactly what to do. So they need to change everything up on that CT side in order to get more rounds.
Much like before, it's not anything super advanced, tactically speaking, from Godsent. It's just the raw aiming power that they bring to the table, and overall, just the, like I said, that experience factor too. They're able to push out much more aggressively, much faster than we've seen from alternate attacks at all through the course of this tournament. Even when we go back to like the first map they played today against Space Soldiers, it was nothing like this. Now that Godsent have found their stride, it's going to be very hard for a team like alternate attacks to break that here. It all came down to them being able to hold a lead at the beginning and consistently keep it like they kind of had there on the last map, but now it's not the case anymore. It's Godsent in the driver's seat, as they pretty much have been ever since we've seen them pick up rounds here. It's been really hard to stop their stride.
One thing I love is Godsent actually, technically they're being aggressive as well, but they're also shutting down the aggression of the CTs. Look at that, just holding the angle, making sure that you can't get into an aggressive position. We saw that as well. One of the Godsent players just pre-mollied upper on B when the op pushed in, and well, that's something for another time, as Godsent are just wrecking through alternate attacks right now. This eco is not working out for them. 2 deagles remaining. Keith coming in from the flank, so that could be useful. Tishin here, close range, not going to land that, and now Keith is all alone.
Good luck.
Good luck, have fun, my friend.
And yeah.
And dead.
Probably not a lot of fun, to be completely honest with you.
Probably
More
not, no.
misery and shame than fun, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, everything is relevant. Just...
Well, Godsent will claim that one, and now they officially have the lead. I mean, just look at the money they have, too. Pronax, obviously, has been kind of the lightweight here for this team for most of the day, so to be expected him is a little bit lower. But you got 3 guys post-buy over $10,000. That's not something that should be happening, really, in any circumstance. Especially with this close of a scoreline. Like, you'd understand that if someone was just getting absolutely wrecked, but Godsent have only recently started picking up rounds, and they already have this scoreline to work with. All of a sudden, a bout of confidence from Crisby, though. That's going to take down JW, and for the first time in quite a while, their initial attempt at an entry through T-Con doesn't work out.
Oh, nice pre-fire coming in from Kazuya with that pop flash as well. Working together, going to be a beautiful combo and going to kill Pronax. So now 2 players down on that Godsent side. Alternate attacks finally have a chance of getting around through. After that pause coming in, and here we go, Flusher coming in now, trying to bounce back for Godsent. Tizian on the back of this bomb side, throws out the flashbang, and can't really catch anyone.
Molotov's going to go into the back of that to force him out in the open, but Lekro's already challenging him right from cover. He can't even push out there. Thankfully, Kiev is available for the trade after Lekro knocks down Tizian, but it's a 3v2 and alternate attacks. They've got no room to work with. The interesting thing, though, is that they've left their opponent on the bomb set alone. It's just Lekro here, and he's going to be taken down now. Flush is running against the clock here, as they're going to be able to walk right up, but Flusha, if he aligns this with proper timing here, because alternate... Oh, my God. Kiev just wrecks it. I was about to say Flusha was about to mind game the hell out of these guys, but it's the reverse. Kiev predicts it, sees it coming since they don't find him on the site, and just absolutely shuts him down. Very well played from alternate attacks, and they're going to keep this close now. It's 7-7 as we go into the last round of the half.
But still, 7-7 is a good half for Godsent, or if it's even going to be 8-7 for alternate attacks, that's a good T half for Godsent. So they can be pretty satisfied with what they've done so far, even saving enough money to do have the double up set up in the last round. So they have everything going for them to get this this last round and the lead from the first half.
So there you have it now. It goes into a very interesting buy, of course, from Godsent on the last round. Double op set up on the T side, which we haven't seen busted out yet. Specifically, Schneider now picking up the secondary op for this team. And we'll see them push forward here. Again, still that kind of default split up here. Nothing out of the ordinary in terms of a strat. They haven't made a decision as far as where they're taking the bomb yet. Still could lean towards either site, though, with them placing the bomb over top of the ladder room.
So let's see here. JW close, as you can see in the picture-in-picture. Close to the smoke with the CZ75 and the AWP, just gonna try and go for some cheeky plays. Of course, expecting the CT to peek him at any point in time. I'm not sure if he expects Serson to be in that position to the left, to be honest.
Behind the server there, but they're gonna bait out the shot regardless. And JW connects, but he survives with 7 HP there, just barely keeping himself up and running. Seriously, though, hasn't moved an inch. And JW, again, still trying to get his opponent out into the open, but it hasn't really worked out. And now he's going to move forward a bit. This is where Searson can hopefully find that kill. That is a spot, though, where people have tried to hide in the past to take down the Opera when he pushes forward. So if JW checks it, that could be a quick shotgun kill for him and just waste all this time that Searson had positioned here. And, I mean, in theory, even lead to 2 deaths. And there we go. He's going to creep up. But, oh, okay. The other 2 decided to push in with him, too. I completely missed that. And they're just going to wreck Searson. So all that build-up doesn't seem to amount to much here. Keev, though, up close against JW. He thought he had fallen back. That's a big mistake. Keev's going to be able to punish that. Schneider moving in, finds Crisby. A 3v4 is active, now down to a 3v3. Alternate attacks are heavily lit, but they're holding good control of the site. Now they just need to finish off the last remaining stragglers from Godsent, but they're making a fight of it. Lekro pushing up there. He's going to find that first kill. Flusha a position on this site too, but it's up to Kazuya now as he sneaks in. It won't pay out though. The last kill rolls in from Godsent, and they'll take control.
Yeah, definitely well played from Godsent despite the rough start, they really return in this first half and just get that first half win. 8-7 is a great first half on the T side for Godsent, and we all know how crazy good they are on that CT side, how crazy good the orbs on JW, on Flush, and even on Snyder if they needed a triple orb setup. But everything can work out for them, and surely we're going to see them take this home after this great first half.
They've done a good job of giving themselves the chance at it, however, but
Yes.
it is going to come down to the ability to find entries and whatnot, which has been something that, to be completely honest, has been rather hit or miss from the alternate attack side. If it's been pretty consistent from Godsent, coming from multiple different players, but there's not been one single player that I can point out as, yeah, this is the guy that's going to get you into the site. It just seems like it's been random across the board here. I can't really pinpoint one player that's been the main proponent of that.
So in this pistol, we're going to see alternate attacks running a strat basically formed by Kazuya. He does have that smoke and that flashbang, so he's going to dictate where the push goes. Right now, it looks like it's going to be a split towards A. 3 guys heading Ivy, and then probably 1 guy heading T-Connector and 1 guy heading Pop Dog. It is Crispy in Pop Dog and Kazuya all the way back in T-Connector, but look at that. A couple of frags coming in, JW trying his best with the USPS, and he's getting 1 frag and returning, but he's on 1 HP, so it's a 3v3, but technically JW's almost dead.
And obviously this will give the guys from alternate attack some room to get into the site. JW's just going to go right for it, though, as he pushes in, as is Lekro, but Lekro, he's dinked along the way, but he still survives the encounter. Picks up the kill against Kazuya. Crisby and Kiev are the last 2 standing here. The bomb, most importantly, is still isolated away from Ivy, too. Crisby's going to wrap around there and manages to take down Lekro, and keep in mind, JW still... What was that?
That was a pretty insane flick shot from Crispy, to say the least.
Just... robotic flick almost. It seemed like he's aiming at him, so
yeah.
Very good stuff from him. And obviously, JW is going to be easy pickings for Kiev. Now it's down to Pronax in a 1v2.
Very important that Pronax does have the kit, so he can play the time if he wants. Let's see.
You try to play it out here. They're crossing into the open, down to 34 HP as Kiev wraps in through Z, and nice shot from Pronax. There finishes off Crisby. I think he knows he's gone to the B, so just being careful in the event he held back to finish the job. But
he only has 10 bullets as well.
9 now.
We can do this countdown. Usually you only need 1 with the USPS, but still.
Bombs in the open too, but he doesn't have... He actually does have the kit, apologies. So he's got plenty of time to work with here. 7 bullets left in the chamber. He's going to try to sneak down. He's going to hope Kiev doesn't peek. He's been right and he snuck downstairs, but now he's at 1 HP. Kiev is playing this so well and so patient right now. He just tries to go for the spray on the pistol, but it doesn't work. Kiev clutches it out, and we're right back into a tie.
Yeah, he's cheeky. Nice clutch from him, and that's really what they need to start their second half. They need to win that pistol round. Of course, they are a bit shell-shocked from the good comeback in the first half from Godsent, so now they need to build some confidence. They need to do some quick plays, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Actually, no, they're going to go for the AKs instead of the quick Mac 10 push or something like that, and technically, that is also a good decision because you're going to have the long-range advantage, and you can pick the Galils.
Crazy.
Wow. You can take the Galils into the next couple of rounds.
It has to feel so bad getting killed by that. He's just looking like 40 degrees away from you, and then all of a sudden, thwick, he's dead.
Yeah, that must be demoralizing at some point. Snyder picking up the scout as well. Flusher on the C-set 75, the rest of the team on the Eagles.
And obviously, again, alternate attacks grouping up very quickly, and actually already starting to push out towards upper too, but there are players in positions to watch out for this now. Regardless, they'll go for the execute Pronax. Oh no! Lekro and Pronax finding 2 quick kills there. There's Lekro with another one. All of a sudden down on the ramp. It goes into a 5v2 as Lekro finds that kill. They've got a presence down below here, but a scout coming in as well with Schneider, and he's going to finish things off. How does that happen? So unfortunate. Alternate attacks, they try to go for a blind push with no utility usage and without the smokes or anything. It's just open season for the guys on Godsent to pick them all off there in the B-bomb site.
The Eagles, man. Freaking the Eagles. That's how it works.
And scouts.
Yeah, technically, but also the smart thing about the Scout Deagle combination is that the Deagle body shot will make the Scout able to take him out in 1 blow. So we did see the 2 kills coming in the end from Snyder, but that was due to the back of the damage that Flusher already did. So great combination coming in from the guys over at Godsent. They're now in the lead 9-8.
Godsent obviously ruining the chances here for alternate attacks to look for an upset, but they will not give up that easily. They buy right back into it now. Tech 9s across the board, and enough utility, as you can see now, to set up a hit. Smokes go into the site, and they're just going to try to overwhelm this to get a plant at the very least. And obviously, again, worrying about actually holding the site after they get that bomb onto the ground. JW doesn't want to push through that, but nobody pushing into him either, so he is free to flank these guys really early on. They've gone directly for that plant, and they find JW there. Not only that, but Kiev, Crisby, Kazuya, all 3 of them picking up kills. They even locate one of the last players. Kazuya's going to pick up a rifle. What? Where did you come from, Schneider?
What was that? That was just absolutely insanity from Alternate Attacks. Also, in the end, that was just mind-boggling.
A wild Schneider appears.
But then again, like, buying those Tech 9s, doing the quick push, just completely surprising Godsent. They did not expect that at all, and 9 out of 10 times, you would expect the team with the most utility and with the best weapon to get that win, but not this time around. It will be Alternate Attacks evening us up. 9-9 is the scoreline now. Godsent going to force their way into a round with the Eagles and ZZ75s once again, a Scout and Snyder, but Alternate Attacks, on the other hand, are going to have rifles.
So with that, Godsent lose their chance now to maintain the lead that they gained there on the last half. And, well, this is going to send things into chaos, of course, as Godsent forced into it. But war of attrition results, and this just goes back and forth forever. I believe eventually Alternate Attacks will just beat them and because the fact that T-Side's more forgiving. But, well, this round starts off well again for the Godsent roster. They've already gotten 1 kill, and they've lit the hell out of Crisby, and now Searson too at 26. They've gotten the plant, they push into the site. There's Pronex ripping the head right off of Searson. Though the body technically is not a headshot, but Kazuya responds. Catches Pronex there as he gets a little bit too over-aggressive. They've got the plant, but they really don't have control of this site at all. They have that little corner under their control, and it's going to be, again, open season. Lekro, Flusha, and JW shut it down. A team ace in that one for Godsent, and they trade the rounds again.
Yeah, great job by Godsent there. Just working together, using the positions, which, of course, they do have the pistols, so they can go for the crazy long-range duels against the AKs. So they just they use the pistols in the positions that they're really good in, and they win the round off that. So basically, it's not, well, it's well played by Godsent by taking those positions, but Alternate Attacks are challenging them in positions where they shouldn't be challenging, and that made them lose that round completely.
That's the most even one of those I've seen yet.
That is true. Very nice.
Lekro and Kiev pretty much dead even. KDAs are basically identical.
Yeah.
Someone's just better at headshots.
That is true.
It's truly what matters.
Truly the only thing that matters in CSGO.
It's a defining stat right there. Better player, confirmed.
Screen best player world, confirmed. JW with the Max 7 here, not in drop zone, but this time it's in Pop Dog, but pretty much the same concept as on Cobblestone, as we saw him there. And he's just waiting for someone to drop into his own little version of hell, and he's just going to deal out punishment. Oh, he's not even going to wait, he's just, I want the frag.
Moved in there looking for it, not finding it, but good control of things. Wrecked!
That had to hurt.
Searson just gets absolutely destroyed. Not only this too, but at the same time he hits him down there, but the gate's been swung wide open, and they haven't seen this. He's going to go in again. Again, he gets 2 kills. They've lined up for him here, because he's going to be able to burn him, but he still doesn't realize that JW is pushing up from behind him here. He gets that kill. It's another close encounter. Doesn't whip out the shotgun for that, so Crisby's going to trade, but now he's alone in the 1v2, looking for this player at upper, but Schneider's just going to sit here and waste time so that he can get Lekro into a better spot. It's not even needed, though. Schneider shuts it down on his own, and finally, someone picks up 2 rounds in a row. It's going to be Godsent that claim this one.
J-Dubs with the Max 7. That's vintage JW. Right there, just getting the frags. 4 frags coming into his account, and most important, with that Max 7, he's going to have money for days.
Again, it's his first kill.
That's disgusting.
Nobody realizes the follow-up that happens too on this flank. Even after he gets this second kill, they don't really seem like they're fully aware of it. As the other guy up front too is surprised when he suddenly pushes up from behind him.
Oh, that's just terrible.
Feels bad, man.
You can just read his facial expression like an open book. Like, oh, really? Did that just happen? Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
So, again, the investment, still the half investment from Alternate Attacks here. Oh, JW misses the shot. A bit unlucky with the way that those bullets end up working out there, but it's Tizian's just going to get hit with so many nades on the way up to the site. The bomb still goes down. Good stuff from Godsent, but they're still being overwhelmed. They've got to be cautious so as not to lose control of the scenario here. Got it down to a 3v2, of course. Just locating these last 2. That's the real problem area. There we go. They found one. It's Crisby over here outside of the short lane. Lekro just can't find that headshot there. Struggling to look for it, but still finds the last one. Runs out of ammo on the AK, though, so not going to get the kill yet. But Flusha finishes off the job. Crisby is there for a trade, but now he is alone and will be promptly taken down by Schneider.
And there we go. Just another one in the books for Godsent, and they're looking quite good, to be honest, here on the CT side. They did look decent on the T side. On the CT side, they're just looking even better, especially now when we're past this point where they're just trading rounds. Now it's just Godsent. The train is just rolling, and it's not stopping at any stations, to be honest.
Well, there's at least a good amount of resistance from Alternate Attacks coming in. The problem is of course, we've had this very heavy style of investment, as they've been trying to chase the break of the bank, basically. That round looks like it's going to get reset, so I imagine we'll jump into it in a moment. So no harm, no foul there. But going back to the point is they tried to chase it. Now the Godsent have the lead reestablished. It's it's been traded back and forth a little bit here, but they've got the lead once more, and they've gotten closer because we had this crazy trading spree of rounds. They're only 4 away from taking control of the map, and I believe the guys on Attax, they've got to take a round here just on a full eco just to be able to get themselves back to a full gun power.
Yeah, let's see here what's going to go down. Of course, that e-ball reset could be because of a pause. I could imagine that Alternate Attacks would like to take a pause and then use the eco round as well to talk about what they're going to do in this upcoming buy. Or actually, no, we're all mistaken. They're going to do force up, and that's what they talked about in the pause. Okay, how are we going to win this force? And this is very interesting because if they lose this, Godsent are going to be in 13, and they're going to be forced on an eco once again. So this is a gamble. This is big balls play from Alternate Attacks, this one.
And they're not really doing anything advanced about this. See, that nade, look at it, just destroyed them that came in over there from the back. That's Flusha to do that. Now, granted, they got damage on the Flusha, but at the same time, Flusha just saw all of this. They're not rotating because there's a large possibility that because of that nade, they turned it around and tried to head towards A. Of course, this has not happened yet. They're just delaying it, obviously, to keep that illusion alive.
This position just tells them everything. They know exactly what's going on. They're just going to catch them in a pincer movement. So yeah, good positioning by Pronax, good push from him. With game sense reading that, and now surely they're going to get a couple of frags, maybe even get the bomb down, but no way they're going to be able to get this round.
Never say never. Tizian's going to push his way forward there. He finds Schneider. They are slowly clearing out this site, but there's a portion of it that's been held by Godsent. Flusha and Pronax, they've responded with 2 of their own kills, and now Kazuya has to hold this flank against Pronax here. Firing off early. The Pronax knows he's been detective. He actually falls away from this, tries to re-peek. The timing on the peeks are not working out in his favor, though. And what is this? He's just defusing the bomb. Oh! Found him. He takes him down at the last moment, so the bomb is still alive and well. But Flusha gets Crispy out into the open here. The last one alive is Kazuya, but he's got his opponent blind. He goes into a 1v1. Flusha down at 13 HP. He's running low on time, and Kazuya can sit behind the train, wait out this time a little bit. They may be able to win this. He's looking for that last bullet. He's not going to be able to get it, but I think he's wasted enough time here. Falling back away from the site. That bomb's going to blow up, and somehow Alternate Attacks have stolen this round.
1 HP to spare. 1 HP to spare, and that is... just read JW's face. He's not having any of that. He's just mad. Oh, that must be... Yeah. This is why people go to anger management after a round like that. I would... Look at that. Look at the time. Oh, yeah, I got this defuse. See ya!
It's not even a knife kill, actually.
No, it's actually a Tech 9 kill as well. Oh. Look at that. He's sad.
I don't even see that on him, though. That's the thing. Is I feel like he's just used to that. Didn't really see a change in emotion.
That's just his resting face.
It's just adjusting position there.
But here we go. It's going to be a pistol round from Godsent. 3 deagles and 1 C's at 75. Well, let's see what they can bring to the table.
Well, now again, we can see Alternate Attacks have split once more, but they've got nobody in T-Con, and this is where JW is going to move into punish. Spots quite a few of them. Dips out of there as soon as he realizes how heavy the pressure is. The problem is that now he's kind of stuck. The players have pushed back over there to the bottom of the ladder room too, and with the other guys outside, there's not a safe position, unless he takes a risk like that, for him to kind of retreat away from here. They've gone away, so him along with Pronax will be good to retreat at any moment now.
Yeah, so what the terrorists are doing is that they saw JW pushing, so they're just posting a couple of guys here to hold him from aggressing and hold him and his teammates from aggressing through this position. And if they pick up a couple of frags from that aggression, they're going to use that to go to the complete other bomb site and just plant it there. Because, yeah, well, the CTs are forced to place some members on each bomb site. And here we go, the pop flash is going to come in, and they're actually going to take the fight to them. Something I don't quite agree with, but then again, they are up against pistols. Usually you win that duel. JW gets a single one, but they get the double kill, and they get the position as well.
They move in there, and with that, Godsent have had their numbers reduced drastically here. Also split up pretty heavily across the map. It doesn't even seem like Attax have really made a decision as far as where they want to take the bomb yet, but 20 seconds of the clock, risking it into B with somebody possibly being in like a flank position they may not catch on the way in, certainly not worth it. So they'll take the straightforward option and go to A, which ends up being the more likely and more successful one here. Somehow Tizian gets dinked a little bit there. I'm not sure where that comes from, but it's brought down regardless. Not going to be a big deal, though. It's just Flush and Schneider left alive, and they're both kind of spread across the map, and they've got players on Alternate Attacks watching those flanks.
So Snyder on the back line here. Oh, that's actually Flusha, my bad. Snyder coming in from behind from that pop dog. Just trying to get some frags, trying to maybe save an AK or something, but it's not really happening. They're not having it. Snyder might come in here, but no, Sersan shuts him down. And that is going to be yet another round for Alternate Attacks. So now 11 to 12.
Close game indeed. As alternate attacks, it seemed like they were done. It seemed like Godsent had found that stride. But like I mentioned before, very momentum-based, it seems like Godsent has sort of become now. And considering that, if you can stop them from claiming rounds here and pick up a bit of a streak yourself, then all right, you have a chance to battle against them. You just cannot let them get the ball rolling. As I want you to, it snowballs pretty heavily against your favorite. They've been able to stem the tide for now, however. And they're just one round away from tying it. But this is also coming off the cusp of a bye from Godsent too, so they're not necessarily in the clear here.
Electro on that Famal, so hopefully he can do some damage. Aggressive play from Pronax, and the nade from JW finishes everything off. Crispy goes down, and well, they have the position on a second guy, that's Key, but he doesn't have an AWP, so the smoke is pretty much going to help the CT to rotate back. And that is going to be a one-man advantage for Godsent, forcing the Terrors to group up together now and hit a state all together, because 3 men pushing in together at once is not going to be enough. They're going to need that whole force of 4 men to push that B bomb side if that is what they want to do.
Godsent are pushing up though. They want to clear this out. They want to make sure there's no hit coming into the A side, and that could lead to an early rotation. But there's still a possibility for Attax to wrap back too and change up their own hit. So Godsent kind of clearing everything out, as we can see, even moving all the way into T spawn. 55 seconds, and we've seen this before with alternate attack. They brought the timer down in the last one, I think, towards like 25 seconds before they actually decided to push into the bomb site. So it's not uncharacteristic of them to do this. The problem is they don't have anybody watching the flanks. So look at JW. He could absolutely destroy them, but they don't have someone assigned to keep out for this kind of a play right now.
What is JW going to do now? He's going to fire when he sees the first guy. Is he going to keep it cool and just rush in?
I think he's actually going to... He's got to be careful not to let too many of them get into the bomb site there. And, well, that's probably the... Well, it's all right. He grabs that 1 kill there. Certainly could have done more, but would have taken some risks there. Now Key moving in here. The nice headshot onto him takes down Flusha. They still have that very active risk, but JW's not going to stick around for it. He actually falls back and is going to head through Z, regrouping with the rest of his team, and they're just going to try to retake this through normal routes. They won't use that flank, just keeping the possibility of it alive. Will hold a player away from the site, and with that, they've weakened the hold significantly. Schneider, Lekro finding 2 more of their kills, and Key, the player that was assigned to watch for this, well, it gives away his position very early on after being flashbanged, and with that, he'll be taken down there. Another retake from Godsent comes in, and they will still maintain the lead. 13-11 will be the scoreline.
13-11, 3 rounds away from Godsent to be taking this one 2-0 and bringing themselves further into the tournament. Not dying today, but there's still another game that awaits the winner of this one. It's not just all fine and dandy if you win this. This is the elimination game, so no real winners, just one loser. That's how it is.
That's a very dark way to put it if you want to go down that road.
That is true. That is perhaps a tad pessimistic.
No one wins.
I'll take that.
But someone loses is basically what you just said.
Yes.
So alternate attacks, again, trying to go for a straightforward play here, but JW just spraying into the wild. It finds him a kill. He knows there's pressure coming out, just detecting it there, and almost gets another one in the smoke there. He's already found the first one. That's Crisby. He's got Tizian down to 2 HP here, hunting for more. Alternate attacks are struggling to get themselves out on the site while there's walking to JW. There's 2 more for him, finishing the job on a Tizian. Finally, he'll be knocked out by Key, but the job itself from Godsent is probably going to be finished in a moment here by Pronax, who's picked up not 1, but 2 kills here. Schneider finds the second one. That is as they close out again, and it goes up. Godsent just 2 more rounds away now from closing out the map.
Great job by JW there. Just in the first spray, probably a bit questionable, but the next 2 he picks up just perfect. So JW with a triple kill in that round, securing yet another one for his team. 14-11 now. They do have the bye. Alternate attacks on some quasi-buy here with 2 Tech-9s as well. So not the best of situations for them. Let's have a look at how the money evolved after this one. It's going to be a full eco for alternate attacks. And that would put Godsent on map and match point.
And they're basically saving up now to go all in on the next 4 rounds to be able to try and win out from that point forward. This one, they're looking for that plan to get the extra money. If Godsent could deny this, that would be great. I don't think they realize they even went for it, though. So mission's accomplished. The round ends really quickly. Godsent obviously will get their 15th round here, as Attax just wanted to flood the site. But Attax only wanted to find this plant so that they could try to go for a 4-round streak and take this to OT. So their goal has been accomplished.
So they have the money to get, well, pretty much AK and supplies for everyone, but they cannot glass cannon on Kiev, which I think in this situation is a good decision because, well, they're pretty much balls to the wall. They have to take every chance they can, and putting Kiev on an AWP is something that we've seen so far. It's a great decision, despite him not being on armor. I think it's fine. Let's just see what he can do. This is his last chance of surviving in this tournament, so might as well just go full all in.
And alternate attacks themselves, again, are not doing anything super crazy here. For the first time in a while, though, they're using Ivy. Godsent were big fans of using that Ivy push there throughout their half, but for the most part, it's been avoided from alternate attacks in 0-0. The aggression working its way in from the backbeat. 3 of them pushing up. It's actually managed quite well. Schneider, though, is going to turn that table very, very quickly. Normally, it's just one player. It's the second and third that catch them off guard and knock out this entire backbeat hit. They're down to 3, and none of them have any access at all to these halls.
So here we go. 4v3 scenario. Keith is still alive. He's not really done anything with the AWP so far. Not lost a single point of health either. And they're all grouping up on Ivy. And Pronax just free-firing through, but Crispy will get the frag in the end. So good job by him. And now Godsent in a bit of trouble. 3v3 Crispy on 1 HP though. Kazuya does have the bomb. They have some utility on the T side, so they should be able to move in towards the bomb side.
2 of them are going to be waiting around the corner, though. That peek with 1 HP is not going to work out very well at all for Crispy. He's knocked out. Flush is able to support his retreating teammate. Schneider was brought down a little bit. Now everything goes into Kazuya's hands in the 1v3 to keep his team in the tournament. He needs to clutch out here, but he's stuck in the Ivy tunnel. He's going to be flanked from behind. Grabs that kill. He's being pushed on from the right side, though, and he didn't realize the second player. Flusha finds the closing kill, and it'll be 16-11 on map number 2. Godsent take control of this set 2-0. And they will push themselves into the lower bracket final, keeping their tournament lives up and running.
Yeah, and finally we see a little bit of a smile from Pronax. We have not seen that smile in many months now. But now there's a bit of a reason. They're not out of it yet, as you say. They are going to go into the decider match, which is also a best of 3, and we will have that next. Of course, a very exciting one coming up.
Yeah, but a lot of playing today, and now, of course, they're going to take a few minutes to reset a little bit. But they're looking good now, I think, is the takeaway from this set. Everybody was doubting them. We saw Attax. It looked like Attax was actually going to take the first map, but then ghost that second half. They reclaimed themselves. They started to look really solid, and I think throughout most of this second map, they've continued that.
Yes.
Still very momentum-based, but I feel like they can kind of sort that out, too, as we go through. And now, of course, we're going to bring the analyst desk back into this conversation to get their thoughts on that match.
Hey boys, yeah, I mean, gents, what were we thinking about that one? That was a tough one to digest. Godsent actually starting to hit a bit of a stride.
Yeah, definitely looking more comfortable in their own skin. As of right now, we still see, the Jekyll and Hyde of the team. I think it was the 22nd round versus the Eco or Force Buy from Attax, where we pretty much see the beauty up to a certain point, and then you just see the beast coming out in full force when they somehow managed to lose pretty much already one round.
Yeah, well, we'll get rid of the beauty and we'll start talking with the beasts then. All right, Blue, Risk, we're going to take it from here. Thank you very much, boys. I did enjoy that one. So, beasts, Godsent are actually winning games now. It did seem like we set the scene for utter failure. We highlighted that Godsent, not only was it looking unlikely, but also that this was the rematch. This was the team that stole their E-League spot, and they strike revenge in a battle of survival to try and go ahead and get to that major qualifier. Still not the end of the road for them, but I mean, was this the same kind of bottom line that we found on Cobble, which was that it was just the individual performance of Godsent a little too much to handle, too much heat, Natu?
Yeah, they were resilient for sure. I mean, especially the first part of the first half and going down early, and then still bringing their game on. It's a positive sign, obviously, but still, I don't like the product. I don't like how I don't think it's sustainable for them. They need to have more structure in this team.
Well, I think it was slightly better this time around than what we saw on Cobble. For sure, and I think the way they play Train is more sustainable than Cobble, and I guess that's one of the reasons why Cobble is normally one of their 2 bans. So that's a good thing. I think their CT side was actually pretty well executed on their end, barring a couple of hitches here and there. But for the better part, this was again a better showing from Godsent. If they're going to have this trajectory, then it's understandable why we would put them as one of the favorites to actually make it through this qualifier.
Yeah, and if you were going to look into alternate attacks for a moment, it's not like they didn't have their highlight moments. It did just seem like, again, there was a couple of names that just weren't quite where they needed to be on the scoreboard. I mean, is it really down to just not hitting enough shots, Natu, or was there just some lack of structure there as well?
It's a lot of combination, a lot of small things. Okay. It is individual performance, but also decision making in the tiny situations, after plans, what have you. When you pile those things together, it goes into the boards, the numbers.
I think a lot of it, I think it was Blue actually pointed out the fact that Attax kind of waned off going towards Ivy at all for a big part of their T side. So obviously, if you stop utilizing the map to its full potential, you can, at a certain point, become easy to predict to a certain extent. And you don't want to do that versus a team with as much experience as Godsent, because you could see multiple times that they took advantage of it. You had people from Godsent constantly pushing out Ivy to the point where they would be behind the entire Attax team before Attax had even gotten onto a bomb site. And this is also one of those scenarios where
This round was stupid, wasn't it?
What's going on here?
This is the horrifyingly round where JW is pretty much like spotted out the entire team. They have all the information needed, and for some reason in a 2v3 situation or 3v2 situation in favor of Godsent, JW just decides to do the most JW thing, and that's like the most
full defuse.
Exactly, inside the smoke, when you could literally just play the numbers advantage at that point. So that's the Jekyll and Hyde of this team. So you see brilliant things at one point, and then just in a millisecond you can see the downside of it all. But for the better part, I think obviously we can kind of erase that from JW's sheet list really, because overall he played a really, really good game, and we saw more of that vintage JW in that sense.
Which is quite refreshing, considering, we outlined coming into this that we wanted Schneider to step up his game. You said he looked lost, and he did. Spectacular side, especially on that CT side. That second round scouting looked great. We even saw him, was it like 4 tags in the round? One kill for 3 tags?
2 of them, right? The first anti-eco that the first force spy on there that they win with the 2 1-digs from Lekr, and then Schneider tagging up a bunch of people, and the second one as well, where he kills 1, tags up 3 people. So that makes it a pretty easy job for the rest of the guys with pistols to finish off the job. So
good on him. We can actually see how he performed on the scoreboard as well, bringing that up just to kind of digest, and it doesn't seem like it was Mr. Schneider on top, and that's exactly what the Doctor ordered. We were singing the praises of Flusher, and now the others have arrived. Yes, Pronax admittedly has had a very quiet tournament. 9 frags previously in that overtime game, and now we find him on not a measly 15, much more respectable for sure, considering there isn't overtime played, but 26-24 for JW and Lekr.
Yeah, as you'd expect. I mean, the skill ceiling on this team is definitely higher than the one of Attax. It's good to see Schneider and Lekr also chiming in on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lekr actually does that job pretty well, especially on the CTT side, playing pretty much the lone man on that inner bomb site for the better part of it. Plays it very well, and I think, again, going back to that one round that they lost, round 22, the only reason he dies really is because he gets abandoned by his entire team for no good reason, really. He does his thing, he holds his angle, and everyone on Godsent knows that they're coming towards inner. They have rotated 3 out of the 4 people over towards that bomb site as well, but just nobody bothers to actually hold, to see if they run through the smoke on lower. So that happens every now and again. That's not Lekr's fault, and he did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, overall. And I mean, you know what you said a win condition was? Lekr has to be the entry fragger. They were lacking that before. We didn't get to see it admittedly as much, but it's still something we've got to keep our eyes out for in our next game versus LDLC.
But we did get to see the one who's initially meant to be the entry fragger on the team, which is Schneider, do a pretty good job of it.
And he did. I mean, top of the scoreboard. Great to see Schneider finding form. We were worried he was having a quiet time here in Bucharest. But looks like we've got another community question being sent in by you guys at home, and it is going to be coming in from Twitter. This time it is Low-Key Tomato. These names are great. Low-Key Tomato says, thoughts on Doppler transfer to Fnatic? Low-Key Tomato. What's a high-key tomato, first of all? But you can tweet us that with your response. But thoughts on Doppler transfer to Fnatic? We did touch on this a little bit in the pre-show, but it's definitely worth digesting a little further.
It's a pretty big move. For obvious reasons, initially people thought that Doppler would end up with NIP after having a stand-up a standing period with them in Pro League, especially with him actually seeming to mesh pretty well with the guys and playing, doing all right for himself. That didn't happen. I think everybody expected Venton to be removed from the lineup at some point.
Did we, though? It felt like we were just... We were actually... Like, the discussion was that, and then we had these segments where we'd be like, Wenton's found his place. He's doing what he needs to do. He's transitioning to late game leader. Like...
Yeah. I think Lurpus put this pretty nicely, is the fact that even though Fnatic were doing well for themselves, they don't want to do well. They want to be extraordinary. And I think there's a limit. And I completely agree with the fact that Venton did his part. He didn't step out of bounds in terms of what he didn't reach for things. He just kept within his game and did a pretty good job of it. Yeah. But if you want to be the absolute best team in the world, you need to have a higher ceiling than you can have with him.
And he looked good in a flat cap as well.
Very true.
Some machine analysis for you. Natty, what about you?
I think
it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
Halvar pretty much cleaned the table, but it just adds another layer, another dynamic for them. Like, I think today's Counter-Strike players are so... Huh?
No, I was thinking like they even have another op.
Yeah, exactly.
Or somebody can pick up the op again.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. That like he's a prototype of a Counter-Strike player of today. Like who can op, who can entry, who can lurk, who can clutch, who
probably
can
do lead.
Yeah. Probably in game. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, that seems to be like the go-to kind of a thing as he is right now. So
and also
this is definitely, I think it's a positive move for Fnatic.
I also saw a discussion on Reddit saying he needs to change his name before the stickers come out. Can we all agree how cool Disco Doppler is for a name?
I agree.
I think it's awesome. I think it's badass.
I agree. I miss those days when you play lower level leagues and you run into like all kinds of weird nicknames because
like low key tomato. Well, who would call themselves that, you know?
Exactly. It would be so good if a pro player actually was like, if somebody like imagine Anders having to shout out like low key tomato goes
low key. Oh my god,
you're
it's fine.
kidding me.
Yeah,
exactly. Like that would be absolutely amazing. If we could get close to it with Disco Doppler.
Yeah, Disco Doppler. It's pretty good. Someone said it was Disco Duck, but that doesn't translate. Me and Risk went on Google Translate. We were like, that is not Swedish. No. All right. Well, on that bombshell, it does seem like we're happy to discuss Disco Doppler's move to Fnatic. And you can keep directing your questions to us on Twitter or Reddit. There's a Reddit thread there as well. We'll be answering them throughout the event. For now, we're going to take a break. And when we do come back, it's more Godsent. This time going up against LDLC in another battle for survival. Our final best of 3 of the night. Will Godsent continue to survive and thrive, or will it be the French side, LDLC, who take the spot?